Which is to say that a story like that is a story that's meant to evoke what we like to call still the magic of movies, that there's a kind of sleight of hand, of prestidigitation, of conjuring that's involved in putting these pictures, these specters in front of us. And the magic of movies is now, I think, a phrase that you hear a lot during the Oscars. If you want to get really drunk in a hurry, just have a drinking game where every time someone says the magic of movies during the Oscar ceremony, you have to drink a shot. If you want to stay sober, make the game anytime someone says the name Harvey Weinstein. But anyway, we can talk about that too afterwards. But let's keep it spiritual now. But the magic of movies is a phrase that's invoked very, very nostalgically these days, and that is associated with these wonderful practices that I think many of us in this room are old enough to kind of to cherish and also to see as normative, which is going to the movies. And there's a whole vocabulary and a whole set of associations with film and with moviegoing that's invoked by that kind of magical phrase. And many of those are now seem to be fading away or in danger of obsolescence. The whole idea of gathering with strangers and also with maybe one or two people in a dark room for this experience of watching those shadows and watching those ghosts conjured up on the wall that is has taken on, I think, in this nostalgic moment, a bit of the aspects of a vanishing religious rite. Supposedly, the great film critic Pauline Kael, when she used to come into screening rooms in Manhattan, and the lights would go down, she would whisper to the people around her, "Let us pray." And there is certainly in those old rituals of moviegoing an aspect of communion, of worship, of rapture that's involved. But to speak of it that way is really to mark myself as an adherent of the old-time religion. And we all know that we're living in a very new dispensation. That a lot of the vocabulary that we associate with movies, including film itself, including talking about these things as films, is a little bit outmoded. They're not films. They're not, when you go 90% of the time to the theater to see a movie, you're watching not light passing through emulsion on a strip of plastic or of celluloid. You're not watching individual frames speeded up just fast enough to fool your eyes into what's wonderfully called persistence of vision, so that you see this illusion of motion made out of still frames. You don't hear the whirring of the projector. Also, the thing doesn't catch fire and melt. You don't have those annoying little hairs and scratches. Not everything. It's not all terrible, but you're looking at digital information. You're not looking at a photochemically projected image, and so. But more than that, you're often not going to the movies at all. You're sitting at home, or you're looking down at your phone, or you're looking at your tablet, or you're looking at your laptop. And in fact, the screens that we used to have to leave the house in search of, these kind of secular houses of worship where you could go to commune with the ghosts and the gods and goddesses of cinema, have been secularized, have been brought home, have been incorporated into the ordinary course of our lives. and surround us at every turn. So we don't necessarily go to the movies anymore. We stream them. We put them in the queue and don't watch them. We binge the TV shows. And a whole lot of critical discussion has kind of welled up around this about has television replaced movies? Has television replaced books? Is television the art form of the time? Is television even still television, given that we don't watch it the way that we used to in weekly hour or half-hour-long chunks, but we can watch it, as much or as little and as many times whenever we want on whatever screen or device comes to hand. And the screening of our lives has become so ubiquitous, so pervasive, that now when you go to the movies, one of the things that you see on the big screen is a message telling you to please turn off the little one. Please don't text or play Candy Crush while we're watching the movie. So the question then is nothing sacred? And the other question is, does this represent, as some of my more melancholy colleagues like to suggest, the death of movies, or is it really their ultimate triumph? That is, those early screens and those early images, which now seem to us so special, so antique, so endowed with a kind of aesthetic charm and power. Those are, after all, the ancestors of the little cat videos or whatever else it is that we're being distracted from. So we're in a very familiar, I think, situation in the world of modern technology, and especially of digital technology, which is of kind of wondering what is this machinery, what is this technology taking away from us, and what is it giving us? And are we able to control the bargain in any way? Can we choose? Can we be in some way the masters of this technology, or at least participants in its impact on our lives, rather than its passive resistance, its passive recipients?